White Mountains today. We have Donna Dolan from Tin Mountain Conservation Center located down in Albany, New Hampshire. Donna, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for being here.
Well, I have to be here.
I know. Thank you for
but I have
having me
my
on
coffee
the show.
on board. We're good.
I know.
But you guys are ramping up for a big summer. It is coming into, as schools close down, camping season. And I know a lot of parents are looking for not only educational but fun things for their kids to do. And I think Tin Mountain pretty much has that covered with their selection of camps. Let's talk about what you guys offer.
Oh, I'll be glad to do that. First of all, for those of you who don't know who we are, Tin Mountain Conservation Center is a nonprofit environmental organization. We've been around for 30 years, and our summer camps is our 26th year.
Amazing,
so,
26 years.
26 years. It started off in Jackson, New Hampshire with one camp, and now we're expanded to 5 different locations, and they're all beautiful locations. Most of them are over 200 acres in property, so there's plenty of resources, lakes, streams, forests. So it's a great introduction for children. Our camps are for ages 4 through 16. And I understand you have a couple of children.
I do, and now, I'm like, if the camera would come on, I'm like scratching my chin every time. I'm like, because we're looking for camps, and Tin Mountain is always one of our go-to places. Because not only do you have that great place, as you mentioned, down in Albany, but you have these satellites. You know, I want to say estates, but compounds, or what did you call them?
We call them field stations.
Field stations,
yes.
That are just amazing, as you mentioned.
And I'll describe a few of them for anyone who has families in the Freiburg area or going to be vacationing in the Freiburg area. We're very fortunate to have property in South Chatham area.
Okay.
Doug Burnell has a couple hundred acres there, and we have use of that property. There's a wonderful post and beam field station there, and the children have an opportunity to swim very close by. There's Lake Kimball Pond,
fun.
well, Kimball Pond,
Yep.
and so when it's really hot, they do have an opportunity to go swimming, but there's many wonderful opportunities through the woods and through the trails for hiking and for observation of nature. We also have a wonderful location in South Tamworth, which I think of in terms of the view, it's like the Sound of Music. Again, it's quite a few acres. The cabin that the children have their mainstay in is tucked in the woods, and there's a beautiful river and stream, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And they have an opportunity to go swimming in Cold Brook, which is that name is for a reason. So even if it's 100 degrees, that water is really cold. Very, very refreshing and very nice. We also have a location in Jackson, New Hampshire, for anybody on that end of town. And that's where Tin Mountain is located. And there's a field station there, and we call that the Cushy Camp because that actually has a bathroom that you can flush the toilet. The rest of them have outhouses, most of them, which is kind of neat, give them the experience. But what's really nice about Jackson, again, you have opportunity for hiking, trails, observing a lot of nature. There's a wonderful frog pond there with the largest bullfrog that I've ever seen.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Those tadpoles are huge.
The tadpoles are huge, too.
Yeah, they're kind of creepy, though.
I think
to me, you get the little ones. What are the little ones versus the big ones?
Well, you know, I had a green frog that I took to a classroom yesterday, and there were also a bunch of tadpoles from that. And it was from a vernal pool. So my guess is it was probably green frog tadpoles. So they were really good size, and their eyes were already formed. And when the frog looked at me, all the tadpoles looked at me. It was like really interesting. So I think the tadpoles go through different stages and different sizes, but I know for sure that the green frog was a pretty good sized tadpole.
Nice, but the big ones are the bullfrogs, right?
The largest frog that we have in New Hampshire is the bullfrog, and he can be recognized. He looks a lot like the green frog. Sometimes they'll be smaller before they get larger, but one of the distinguishing characteristics for the bullfrog, if you look underneath and it's yellow, then you'll know that that is a bullfrog. And his sound is different also. And the green frog has little ridges going down the sides of him. He's usually a little slimmer looking in his structure. So, but they're easily mistaken for each other.
Well, everyone knows the spring peepers. What's the one that sounds like a rubber band? Ka-tang.
Good question. I do know, however, you did. I'm not sure. There's a new outreach coordinator now at Tin Mountain, and she can actually say the frog. She can sound out the frog sounds, which is really good.
Oh, cool.
But yes, you're right. The peepers are the little ones. They have the X on the back, and you can hear them at night.
Just opens up a whole world of possibilities. Like you can walk through the forest and it's a wonderful experience, but once you start absorbing some of this knowledge, it enriches the entire experience, you know, and I think that's the key to getting kids outside is really finding what their interest is out there instead of just saying go outside, go outside. You can do that, but if you say go outside and find, you know, a spring peeper or something like that, give them something to look for.
That's the exciting part. And that's the exciting part about our camps, because it starts off for the younger children who are ages 4, they don't necessarily have to know the names, but to actually look at them, to hold them, to be fascinated by nature. And as they get older, to start distinguishing what they're seeing for what is out there for different species. It's really quite exciting. And the older campers who are like, we have explorer camps, so they will canoe out to Lake Ambagog, and they'll see the eagles and the moose, and they'll have that wildlife experience. And also learn survival skills. So yes, nature's quite wonderful and fascinating, and I think once you find an affinity with it, and what's so nice about Tin Mountain is we started at a very young age in having our naturalists go out with the children to explore, but we also have adult programs, and our naturalists are there that you can work out with the group and say which one says that sound, and usually one of our naturalists just gives us a call, they'll let you know. Oh, good. Yeah.
Now, I think a lot of parents, when they are thinking about, especially if they've never done it before, sending their kids to camp, the staff is all important. Now, you mentioned swimming, and people are like, well, are they CPR certified? Or, you know, like, tell me about your staff that you have on board for
I'll
the
be
kids.
glad to do that. First of all, we're state certified now, so that we have stringent qualifications, and we have passed them flying colors. We do have a lifeguard. When the children go to any of the swim sites, we're required to have one lifeguard on duty. So our directors for each individual camp will have CPR, and there's usually, in terms of staff student ratio, they're very small groups. Usually it's for 1 adult to 10 children. So if the younger children, who are 4 or 5 years, you know, we'll have 2 for 10 to 12 children.
It's like wrangling cats.
Absolutely.
At that age.
And that when they hike Mount Washington, we would also make sure that we have very strong hikers, people who are conditioned for wilderness conditions. So it's a well-qualified staff. We have naturalists on board. Lori Kinsey, who's our education director, and she's also the director for summer camp. She's been with the organization for well over 20 years. So there's a consistency in the staff, and our director, Michael Klein, is wonderful. He's a forester, and though he doesn't take part necessarily in the camps, he just makes sure that everything's all together. So it's really a very strong staff, and in terms of camp staff, Lori hires college students. She might hire some interns. Right now we have 5 interns at Tin Mountain. Everyone is just wonderful, and they have different focuses.
Well, that's sort of describes your camps too. So no matter if the kids are into rocks and gems or sticks and bones or lake ecology, there is a camp that focuses on each of those. I want to say focuses on the focus.
Yes, on the theme. Yes, we do have theme camps, and it's true. We have woodland wildlife for one camp, for instance, that's for 5 to 7 years old. Stones and bones, if you children like working with understanding the anatomy of something, that's really a really great program, and that's for ages 6 to 8. We also have bug camp for young children, and believe it or not, some children love bugs. And, it's really fun to look at bugs.
And what time do the camps go to? Is it an all-day camp? Are there overnight camps? How does that work?
For different ages, for the youngest, for the kinder campers who are age 4 to 5, that's a half day, and it's only 1 week camp. So it's a really nice introduction of getting away from their parents, meeting other children. And then children who are a little bit older, the 10-year-olds, which you have us on that age or in that range, they go from, I believe it's 8:30 to 3, and it might be 9 to 3. But at that point, it's basically all day and then 1 overnight for most of the camps at that age. Some of them do not have an overnight now for some of the theme camps, but most of them do. So it might be that first time that child stays away from home with an overnight with children out in the wilderness. And one of the other field stations is Tin Mountain Nature Learning Center in Albany, New Hampshire. And that's also really nice. You might see a tent in the yard in the summertime.
I mean, if you guys haven't been down to this Tin Mountain Conservation in Albany, the building is amazing. It was built from all local woods, and it's sustainable, and there's solar going on, and all this great. I want to design my house after what you guys have done there with the windows, even the north-south windows thing. It's just really amazing engineering that has gone into that building.
It's true, and it's all local materials. There's 19 different species of wood.
It's gorgeous.
Solar photovoltaic. We are off the grid. Yeah. Net zero building, and our trails, for anyone viewing and it may be your first time knowing about us, I want you to know that the trails are open all year round. So even this summer we do have maps. You can go on our website, you can download a PDF of our trail maps. It's great. There's a 7-acre man-made pond on the property that has a lot of bullfrogs, a lot of different types of frogs. Also 2 beaver lodges, which is really exciting with active beaver. So again, our summer camps bring children out into the wilderness, but new this year I want to mention is that we have a hiking club, and that is 1 day a week on Thursdays. And anyone, it's almost like a drop-in. You have to let us know ahead of time. You don't have to go to every Thursday. But it's for anyone who's interested, ages 13 to 16, hiking the 4,000 footers.
Oh, good.
And that's new and quite challenging, and a nice way to meet other
it's a good goal.
Youth. Yeah. A great goal. And so that's really a neat camp. And also for those who like to canoe and kayak, older children. And I realize that sometimes children do work after school now at that age, but for 1 week you can be canoeing and kayaking and honing your skills and getting out in the wilderness and camping out for 3 nights at a time. And also you could climb Mount Washington, and we have wonderful hiking camps too.
All right, so lots to choose from, all on the website, tinmountain.org. And I guess we should wrap it up with the mention of the tuitions or the scholarships, because a lot of people, the cost, a lot of people don't have excess money nowadays. So you guys have stepped in with a great scholarship program.
We do, and there is scholarship available. One of our fundraisers, first season auction. There's a live bid on summer camp scholarships, and the hands all go up. So please do not let that be a factor for your child not to come to camp. There is plenty of opportunity for them, and we want to make sure that every child has the opportunity to go out in nature. So again, we have a camp brochure. It's online. You could click on, if you go to the Tin Mountain website, as Kelly said, click on, it says Camp Catalog PDF, and you'll see it, and then in the back there's a registration form, and all you have to do is check off scholarship.
Good. And sooner the better.
The sooner the better. Yeah, some of our camps are already full. There are many opportunities still out there. And definitely give us a call, 447-6991, and we'll be glad to answer any questions or even do registration on the phone.
Okay.
So give us a call.
Fantastic. Volunteer sponsor opportunities also can call that number if they like to help sponsor a child and scholarships and all that. I'm sure you guys would be open to that.
Absolutely.
And again, online, tinmountain.org. Do we cover everything, Donna?
Yes, except for I do want to say on Father's Day, and it's not in any of our literature.
Secret information?
It's secret information. It's actually almost like a secret club, but it's actually the Masons are putting on a free breakfast on Father's Day, and all proceeds from that, any donations that are given, will go to Tin Mountain. So that's another way that you can help have a child go to camp.
And is that right here in North Conway?
It's in North Conway, above the Majestic, from what I understand. Yes.
Oh, above the Majestic or above the North Conway Theater?
North Conway Theater.
Okay, because Majestic's in Conway, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
so we're
it's
talking the North Conway
Yes.
Theater right here in the village. You go up the stairs, I think, on to the left, looking at the building to the left.
Thank
you.
You
can go up to the second floor, I think.
Oh, nice. I have not been there myself, but I will be
there
that Sunday.
Breakfast,
yeah,
Father's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna, for joining us.
It's always a pleasure. Again,